Hi everyone, my name is Kayla and welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf where we talk about books. Today I have a little book haul to share with all of you. Typically I would be posting my reading update at this point, but my reading has been slow. I am working on a few things. We had a crazy week where I just did not read anything because of life, and that's just what happens every now and again. So I don't have a reading update just as of yet. However, I do have some books that I've been accumulating over the last couple months that I want to share with you. And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right into the book haul. The first one is a children's book. So if you are a parent and you are looking for some stories to read with your kids, by all means, I think this one is worthwhile. This is We Are Definitely Human by X Fang. I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation there, but it is such a sweet and darling little book where the big lesson is about kindness, but it basically follows three little aliens who crash their ship on Earth and the kind humans who help them get back home or fix their ship or car, depending on what kind of disguise you're under. My husband actually got this for me and my son on Valentine's Day so that we could read this during story time, because every night before bedtime is story time, and I really value that time, and I just thought this was so much fun. It's not as long as I was thinking for the size of the book, but the humor in it, just some of the artwork and the shifty-eyed dog that keeps staring down the aliens, it's so much fun, and it was a great read. And now, we're running around going, we are definitely human as a result. Even the artist's bio at the end is really cute, so I would definitely recommend this if you are a parent and you are looking at a new story to read with your kids. Next is A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. I've actually been really wanting to read this author's works for quite a while, and I know a lot of people recommend Nettle and Bone, and I was shopping on Book Outlet and they just did not have that, but they did have A Sorceress Comes to Call, and reading a couple of reviews, it sounded like it might be up my alley, so I wanted to give it a try. It's a retelling of the Brothers Grimm's The Goose Girl, rife with secrets, murder, and forbidden magic, which all sounds up my alley. So yeah, I wanted to give this one a try. It sounded interesting, and I mean, you kind of, when you're shopping a Book Outlet, you gotta get that minimum requirement to get the free shipping, right? Justifies the purpose. The purchase justifies the purchase. That's the word I'm looking for. After that, I got The Daughter's War by Christopher Buehlman, I think is how you pronounce that. Now, I have not read book one. This is book two. Book one, The Black-Tongued Thief, has been judging me silently on the shelf for a little bit of time. But I saw book two had come out recently. This sounds like the series I'm going to really enjoy, the kind of series I'm really going to enjoy. It's a mix of Nicholas Eames' Kings of the Wild meets Joe Abercrombie's The Blade itself. Sounds like a match made in heaven in my perspective. And the at least book one follows the perspective of a thief who does what thieves do, lockpicking, stealing, all the good stuff until he picks the wrong mark and shenanigans ensue. So this sounds like it's going to be the type of series I'm probably going to want to continue one after the other. And if it's not for me, I can rehome it, but I am really excited to dive into this and to be able to now go from book one to book two if I'm really loving it as much as I think I will. So yeah, The Daughter's War by Christopher Buehlman. Next, I ended up getting Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lennon. Look at this cover, look at that face. How can you not want to get that face on your shelves? So I heard about this from John over at Talking Story. If you have not checked out his channel, please by all means go check it out, consider subscribing. But this just sounded like a beautiful combination of a very human story, but mixed with humor and depth to it, and told in a time frame that is typically viewed with quite a serious take. And just bear with me, but this is essentially happening in the Peloponnesian War, where the Syracusans have figured out what to do with the surviving Athenians who had the gall to invade their city. And basically they cart them into a stone quarry as prisoners and leave them there to rot. And two of the prisoners who are unemployed, potters of all things, end up trying to find a way to pass the time, and they end up trying to put on a play. And it's mixed with the type of humor that I would not anticipate, because it's written by an Irish author. And so that's really what got me in this, because I love the Irish humor as well. So told in the contemporary Irish voice, and as riotously funny as it is deeply moving. How do you mix humor in with a deeply moving story that is human and follows prisoners in a very terrible time of war and just a period of history that is typically viewed with all due seriousness and many lights? As a result, it's in this book haul because when I heard about it and I found it and I saw that cover, yeah, I needed to give this a try. The next one was a gift from my very good friend Tori over at Tori Talks. Go check out her channel if you have not already. And that is By Blood, By Salt by J.L. Autumn. This is an author I was familiar with previously, but I had not gotten to their book yet. And Tori has raved about this. So yes, she ended up sending it my way as a Christmas present, which was extremely sweet. And just to read the top tagline for you: when the enemy of your enemy is your only friend, in the end, you stand alone. This is just, I'm really excited. When your friend raves about a book and you have very similar reading tastes, it's an exciting read. Thank you so much, Tori, for sending this my way. Before we jump into the next book, I actually forgot to include this in my original recording because it was just sitting happily on my shelf. Now, this was sent to me very kindly from Brian over at BellTube because I got disco-fied. And if you don't know what that is, then go watch his video. I'll link it down below. It was hilarious. I'm disco-fied and I'm honored. So Brian actually sent a candle from that video all the way to Canada, and this is the Book Lovers Soy Candle Rainy Day Reads. This is a mix of fresh rain, ginger, and lavender, and please, please trust me when I say it smells so good. It smells fabulous. So yes, it's been sitting happily on my bookshelf since I've gotten it. And yes, if you're wondering, I have gone up quite a few times just to remind myself of how good this smells. If you're the type of person who randomly will go up to their shelves just to get a whiff of that book smell, that's what this has been like for me. So thank you so much, Brian, for sending this my way. I absolutely appreciate it. I love it. I don't know that I want to burn it. I'm so worried. If I burn this and then it's gone, what do I do? What do I do? So yes, thank you so much, Brian, for sending this my way. I've been disco-fied and I'm honored. The last two in this haul were actually books that I had won in giveaways, and let me tell you, I was so excited when I found out I had won these because one is an author I had already read once before, and I really enjoyed the novella that I read from them, The Scald, I think it was, and that is Gregory Amato. And so this one was Burden to Bear by Gregory Amato. I believe this is book one in the Spirit of Gods series. And so, yeah, a Norse-inspired fantasy is what you'll find with this one. And one of the taglines here is, telling the Norse myths is a lot easier than living them. And I love a good epic fantasy, Norse-inspired, filled with battle and just good characters and storytelling, which is what we got with The Scald, written by the same author before. So I am just so grateful. Thank you so much, Gregory, for hosting a giveaway and then sending this my way. I'm so excited. I love Norse fantasy, especially after finishing John Gwynn's trilogy. And so I'm really looking forward to diving into more in the genre. The last book was also one of the giveaways that I had won, and this was hosted by Noah Isaacs. This is Memories of Tomorrow, book one of the Tales of Ariam. This sounded fascinating. We have a main character who is basically cursed. He lives a life of catastrophe and ruin, and he is plagued by visions, and they're not the nice, happy-go-lucky visions. They're the see your family and loved ones die kind of visions. So they are not the most pleasant and often foretell of not nice things either. And in an effort to have some control of his life, he sets out on an adventure with his last companion, Jasper. One of the things I love about this is the tagline here. There's two, and that is memories and prophecies guide them on their path to salvation, but the past lies, and the future speaks only in tragedies. Is it truly a blessing to know what's coming, even if you're powerless to stop it? I love those questions. I love those themes. So I'm really excited to see how this author explores them in this book. Well, series, because this is only book one. But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much, Noah, for sending this my way. And that's everything. Those are the books that I have hauled recently. And I did want to touch quickly, if anyone ever wonders why I don't show off my Broken Binding subscription books in these book hauls, there are a few reasons, mainly because each of those books get their own unboxing YouTube shorts. So if you're interested in seeing them in better detail than what I can do here in these book hauls, by all means, go check out the YouTube shorts section for those unboxings. But another reason is I can't really remember which ones have arrived since the last time I did a book haul, which it probably would be quite a few. And to try and navigate that in a small space with very expensive and it's scary. It's scary to try and navigate a tower of Broken Binding special editions books where they could get damaged in some way or form, just because of my setup. So there's a few reasons, but if you do want to see them in better quality and detail anyway, definitely go check out those YouTube shorts. I would love to know though, what have you hauled in the last little bit? What was a book that you were so excited to get? Was it a release? Was it just something that was raved about, or was it something you found on a whim? Leave your comments down below. I would love to hear from you. As always, thank you so much for watching and take care of yourselves.